Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Derek here. We are back reacting to another episode of Loki. This is episode 3, I believe. It is called Lamentis, whatever that means. Where did we leave off with Loki last time? So last time Loki had kind of accepted his role, I guess, as like a TVA helper, and they did some research to find out where this variant of Loki is hiding out. Figured out that they're hiding out in like disaster time zones or whatever, where like horrible things happen and everyone dies. And that leads them to this Rocks Cart, big department store that's about to get destroyed by a giant flood. Conflict ensues, and then the variant Loki, which turns out to be a lady Loki, like bombs the sacred timeline and then just dips. and Loki follows her, and then the episode ends. Now, does this mean that Loki is going against the TVA? We're not quite sure yet, but possibly, he's always been mischievous, and he is trying to find a way out of, his situation. He doesn't want to get erased. He kind of wants to go back to his timeline, but if he can't, he'll probably do whatever he can to stay free. Now, before we jump into this episode, please consider leaving a like on the video, especially if you like what you see. Consider subscribing and ringing the bell so you're notified when I upload. And then if full-length reactions are something that interests you, or if you just want to support me outside of YouTube in general, consider checking out my Patreon. There you can become a super supporter and get featured in all my videos like this guy. But other than that, I think that's all I gotta say. So, let's jump into this episode of Loki. It's a vibe. Skipping the Marvel theme song?
Well, the drinks seem fine.
Is that... That's the C-53 person. And then is that Lady Loki?
So it permeates the roof of your mouth and freezes the synapses in your brain, so your memories are literally frozen in place. That's absolutely not true. It is. Okay, try it.
What?
Okay, ask. How many people are guarding the timekeepers? Sorry, what?
Is this Loki like infiltrated? Is she like infiltrating her brain?
How long have we been best friends? Seriously though, you know you can tell me anything, right? Of course. So why won't you tell me how many people are guarding the timekeepers? Oh, well, there's...
She was gonna say there's no one guarding the timekeepers.
This place, I remember, I know this place.
It's a memory?
But I don't know you.
It's okay. You're just tired.
Yeah, I'm probably just tired.
Dang, this is crazy.
How do...
Yeah, she was not happy that he showed up. She's like, what the frick? Trying to do some interrogation here. Screwing up my plans. As soon as they leave, she's just like, what's up? Oh yeah, the magic doesn't work here. She's like, what the? Oh, she just cooks him anyway. See ya. She's not a bad fighter. Just gotta avoid those glow stones. Oh, that was dope. Oof. I would keep those, honestly. I would not have dropped that stick. I'd be like, you just tap everyone. Oh, take your knives. Dude, yes. Signature move. Flip the knives.
I thought perhaps we could work together. But now I see you lack vision.
Ooh, Renslayer's here. What's up?
Come any closer and I'll kill him. Go for
She, she doesn't care. That's smart. Open a door below you.
Goodbye, variant.
Oh, it's out of power.
It's not working.
You gotta charge him.
Don't ever call me that.
Tech savvy.
No, a Loki.
Tech savvy.
So you're just fully a magician then?
Fine. For my next trick.
Oh,
Is that one of your powers?
Where did you send us?
Lamentis 1. In 2077. Cyberpunk.
I don't know where you hid that tempad, but if you blow up, it blows up, and then I end up blown up. There! No! Didn't need your help.
You're so weird!
You're so weird. What is she trying to do?
What's he doing?
What are you doing?
You trying to enchant me?
Think she was.
Turn back.
Where do you have it hidden?
In my heart.
Well, then I'll cut it
In
out.
my heart.
Very droll. Lovely. Okay, yes.
She doesn't seem very much like a Loki.
I'm not gonna get ready.
The plan you interrupted was years in the making. Years.
Okay, got it.
As soon as I turn that tempad back on.
I'm sorry about not calling some faded photocopy of me Loki.
Good, because that's not who I am anymore. I'm Sylvie now.
Why?
You don't know what you want.
Oh yeah? What about you?
Well, that's true. He probably doesn't know what he wants, but
Well, I'm not you. Can we get on with this now?
is that like a... Is there a deeper meaning to her saying that? Like, maybe she's not actually a Loki? I don't know.
Could that charge the tempad?
Maybe.
What is it? Just a neon sign?
The tempad requires a massive power source, not a nightlight.
Yeah. That makes sense. She does not act like a Loki. It's a bold move.
Hello, dear.
Patrice?
She's gonna shoot him too.
It's been a long time. You're as beautiful as I was.
Yeah, just gets smoked. I hate it, Patrice.
Which one was that? Diplomacy?
Don't.
Honestly, he lasted longer than you, Sylvie. So something powerful's got to power that gun, though.
Ask you a question.
The heartbeats tonight, and we've been waiting in line for hours.
So are they gonna doom all these people to their deaths to recharge their their own little time pad thing?
We're doing this one my way. Oh, look.
Like someone with a shit plan.
It's a great plan.
Everything okay?
They gotta kind of work together on this one.
Okay.
Yeah, they kind of had to go with both plans on that one. Ooh, there's gonna be a fight in this room. I remember from the trailer, Loki yeets someone out a window.
I was adopted. a bit of a spoiler for you. Sorry about that.
No, I knew I was adopted.
What? They told you?
Yeah. Did they not tell you?
No.
He's like, no.
I mean, they did eventually. You know, when I was young, she'd do these little bits of magic for me. It all seemed impossible, but she told me that one day I'd be able to do it too, because I can do anything.
Wow.
Not bad.
She was the kind of person you want to believe in you.
Sounds like she does.
She's dead.
No, she did.
Maybe love is hate.
Remember that. What was that? Love is hate.
Oh, piss off.
Love is hate.
You're a prince. Must have been would-be princesses. Or perhaps another prince.
A bit of both. I suspect the same as you. But nothing ever...
Real.
Yeah. Singing as Guardian. He's like, I don't need no stinking uniform. He's on the train already. Sounds like the song from Lord of the Rings. Is he testing her to see if she recognizes the songs? Like Thor. Classic.
How'd you get so paranoid?
Oh, I guess it must have started when I spent my entire life running from the omniscient fascists you work for.
Your entire life.
I let it go to waste. But ultimately, when you reach for it.
It isn't real. Love is an imaginary dagger.
Love is an imaginary dagger.
Oops. Still, it looks lovely, doesn't it? Is this really necessary? There is a simple explanation. Hey!
Drunk fighting, let's go. Ooh, solid use of that as a weapon. It's kind of interesting that he told her that all her plans end in a fight, and yet he's the one that starts this fight. Just not even close. It's like, what the heck? See ya.
Bye.
Oh, I thought maybe he did an illusion of him being thrown out. Oh, it's broken.
What I'd like to take.
Dang. She does not seem very like Loki. Quit flying your plane up there! I'm trying to make a video.
Did the screen make you feel better?
So what, we hijack the Ark and make sure it gets off this moon?
That would create a
I mean, sounds like a good idea.
variant thing and bring the timekeepers, though. Right? Right? Because this... if all those people are supposed to die and then they don't, would that not be an anomaly? That the time variance would come to correct? I mean, maybe they're not in the position to come correct that at the moment.
You want to know how enchantment works? I have to make physical contact and then grab hold of their mind. In order to preserve the connection, I have to create a fantasy from their memories.
Interesting.
I had to pull a memory from hundreds of years prior, before she even fought for them.
What? What did you say? Before she joined the TVA?
So they just take people.
Love margaritas.
They take people and then change their memory?
Who works at the TVA was created by the Timekeepers.
That's ridiculous. They're all variants, just like us.
Interesting. So maybe that lends some credence, if they're all variants, maybe that lends some credence to the other detective worker that was working for the main timekeeper lady. Maybe it's just another version of Owen Wilson. And every time one of them dies, they just go collect a new variant.
5 minutes until launch.
They're gonna let these people die.
Someone just throw a Molotov into that crowd. You know, they have 5 minutes until this thing apparently takes off. But according to that thing, it never makes it off. So what would change that? Yeah, you should keep going. Oof. These guys just really want to fight them, eh? There's something more about her that I don't... She's hiding something. I mean, obviously, like, the true intent of her mission, we don't know that yet, but I feel like she's hiding more. It's a very elaborate set. Is this a one-shot? That's probably a clever cut for CGI. Yo, what? The F did you just do? I mean, he's got telekinesis, right? Because he caught that Roomba last time, but he can just, like, catch a falling building with his mind. Yeah, how are you expecting to get on that thing? Yeah, all those people kind of accept death and just fall to their knees. Oh, that's the end of the episode. Frick, dude. What are they gonna do? Okay, so that was a good episode. I liked that episode a lot. There's a lot of action in this episode, surprisingly. I liked the dynamic between the two characters of Loki and Sylvie. Sylvie still very much does not seem like a Loki. And she says she's been running her whole life, so maybe that has something to do with it. You know, maybe her simply being a female version of Loki, maybe that is in itself is what makes her like a variant or you know, against the sacred timeline. I don't know. So, and maybe she's been hunted by the TVA this whole time, or she did something happened when she was young, presumably, because she said she's been running from these people her whole life. And that could contribute to a stark difference in personality, but you know, if that's not the situation, then I think it could lend some credence to the idea that maybe she's not actually a Loki, because she definitely does not seem like Loki at all. Granted, we've only seen this Loki, so we can't necessarily say that his personality is what every Loki's personality would be, right? So I don't know, but yeah. So we get right away, she is entering into the mind of C-53, via her memory to try and figure out, where the timekeepers are, how many people are guarding them, how to get to them. And at first I didn't really think much of it. I thought maybe I was a little confused because I was like, I thought maybe we were seeing like an alternate version of this, or like, maybe they had some sort of connection previously. But then I thought, okay, maybe sometimes the time people get days off. I don't know. Owen Wilson's character, Mobius, wanted to ride a jet ski. Maybe this character's dream was to just visit some Hawaiian restaurant. I don't know. But so she's getting info, and that, I guess that turns out to be something much bigger later on about, the identities of these TVA employees, right? So, but yeah, Sylvie is just kind of working her way through. She's trying to get to the gold elevators because the gold elevators take them all the places they need to be, and they get enough, like, just fighting TVA members, and they have to escape, and they escape onto this planet called Lamentis 1, and it's about to be destroyed by a giant moon, and it's just kind of like, they find themselves in a situation where they have to work together to survive. Meanwhile, like, the whole time they're also like subtly trying to undermine each other and gain an advantage on the other person because they don't want to, they're like, oh, no, you fall asleep first. It's like, I mean, I don't think, they apparently need some big thing to charge the pad. Do they? Or could they just be like, here's 0.1% from this street sign, here's 0.1% from, whatever thing. I was thinking maybe, why don't they just find whatever was charging that lady's gun and try and use that? You don't know. They don't need a full charge, right? To use the pad once. They just need a little bit. Because all they got to do is jump once back to the TVA and then get a new pad from one of these people or whatever. So I don't know if they actually will need some like massive power source, right? But it's entirely possible that they might. What else? She tries to enchant him and it just doesn't work. He's like, what are you doing? And I guess so, like, when the person's mind is stronger or smarter or more complicated or whatever, she has to put in a little extra work. So most people she can just enchant immediately, right? Which included the main TVA guard from last time. She got her right away. But like C-53, I guess, had a stronger mind. So she had to go into her mind hundreds of years before that point, and like before she was a TVA employee. And I'll get to that in a little bit. But yeah, this was just a fun episode. Seeing them both try their own respective strategies for things and like neither of them work, and then they kind of have to work together to get on this train, use both strategies, and then and while she's taking a nap, Loki's like, I'm just getting drunk, dude. Because she is very much still like, I have a mission to complete, like, this is what's important to me. And I don't know if he's in that mind state right now. Like, he even told her, like, you can't beat them. Like, he obviously wants to live, but, like, in the grand scheme of things, he's like, I'm already, like, at the end of the day, I'm going to die either way. He's still going to fight to do everything he can to not die, but, like, what's he going to do? He's going to get drunk. That's always been Loki. He grew up as a prince in a Asgardian place where, like, they were just getting sloshed all the time. So he's like, this is normal. They have another fight. They break the time pad, which, like, not great. Or, well, they might not have broken it. He could have been straight up lying to her. He could have manifested an illusion of a broken time pad, right? Like, he could essentially show her whatever he wants, and she wouldn't know if it was real or not. Just kind of like how we wouldn't know if it was real. But yeah, they have a nice bonding moment on this train where he's talking about his mom. She says she just has like a distant dream of what her mom was, or like what her life was. It's very tough to tell, like, is she actually a Loki or is she not? She doesn't want to be called Loki for whatever reason. We don't know what that reason is yet, because she doesn't want to share any info about herself. Like, the most we've learned about her is that she's very serious, first of all, and then she can enchant people, and we slightly know how it works. Meanwhile, Loki, we already know so much about him, plus then he just shared even more. Like, so I don't know. I thought maybe at one point he was trying to test her because he was singing like Asgardian songs, or at least he was singing in Asgardian. I don't know if the song in its entirety was an Asgardian song because everyone else on the train seemed to know it. I thought he might have been like testing her to like, because if she didn't know what the song was, maybe he was trying to figure out, are you really Asgardian? Like, are you actually Loki? But they didn't kind of revisit that, so I don't know. They get in a fight. He gets thrown from the train, breaks the pad, and they got to make their way to the Ark. Which, as soon as they get there, and the thing's like 5 minutes from takeoff, it's like, okay, good luck. They have to fight through this entire crowd of people and somehow get on this ship and then do something to create a big enough difference that it can still take off. Like, you knew right away as soon as you heard the overhead person be like 5 minutes to take off that they weren't taking off. And they fight all the way through these people. Loki did a crazy thing. So this freaking, like, a building comes down and he like uses the force. Like, he catches it like with his mind and then just sends it back up. Like, he like almost reversed time. Did he take that time stone from the TVA? That would be so insane. He's just letting this whole thing play out, and then he's just like, all right, run it back. You know, I mean, maybe his telekinesis is a lot more powerful than he's previously shown it to be, right? Because this building is straight up coming down, and he's just like, I got it, and just sends it back up. Like, we know he has some sort of telekinesis, because in the last episode during their fight, he like brought a Roomba to him and used it to fight. So I don't know why he's not using that like all the time. That seems like a very advantageous power to have that he just kind of like hasn't told her about or done anything. Like, they're not addressing the fact that he can just move things with his mind, like big buildings. You know, maybe, unless this whole thing is an illusion that he's doing, I don't know. But that seems like it would be effective to use. I don't know. I feel like he has some stuff that he's like, I can't tell if he's like toying with her. Like, he has some sort of thing that he's got going, but she's also hiding a lot of stuff. Like, we don't know why she's doing what she's doing. We don't know anything about her. Which is kind of frustrating. I wanted to learn a little bit more about, you know, her plan this time. This whole episode was kind of just them like bantering and not necessarily revealing any more info. The only info that we learned, which by the way was huge, massive info. So connecting back to when she was in that TVA person's mind, right? We learned that the Time Variance Authority, like, Mobius talked about how they were created, like the TVA created them, and you know, their entire purpose was to be TVA members, kind of like the clones in Star Wars. They were created, but we learned from Sylvie that they weren't created. They were all variants, like Loki and Sylvie, that presumably the TVA just took. They just went in, you know, maybe whatever the case, when they find out something about a variant, when it gets brought to their like bureaucratic situation, you know, maybe instead of, I don't know, maybe they go through some sort of process that like not erases their memory because she was able to access them, but like kind of just like puts a fog over it so they can't access those memories. and they just give them new memories. Like, is Mobius, maybe that pen from Jefferson High School or whatever it was, maybe he actually was a real person, that maybe he was like a teacher or something, and he was just kind of like kidnapped into the TVA and he doesn't know it. So like, that's huge information. Like, we thought they were created. No, they're just all regular people from Earth or wherever. So I guess that raises the question, like, who's taking them? Like, who is the first one to be taken? You know, what does Renslayer know? She's like the main lady. Like, does she know they're all variants? Like, obviously she seems to know more than most of them. You know, did the timekeepers, like, how does this work? That just raises so many more questions. But yeah, then I don't know, man. But they're fighting their way through this crowd, and then obviously the arc doesn't take off because of course it wasn't. And all these people immediately just fall to their knees like, oh no, I'm dead. And that's when the episode ends. So presumably we'll get at least one more episode of these two working together. And yeah, I think we're getting more and more info to kind of like bring us to the conclusion that the TVA are not the good guys. I don't think. They are the Empire kidnapping kids to make them stormtroopers. They are just seemingly, I think we're slowly just getting more info to support that they are not the people we should be rooting for. And, you know, maybe we can root for individual members within the TVA, like Mobius, to hopefully maybe have his memory restored. Maybe Renslayer, I don't know if she's a good person or not, but it seems like the Timekeepers, at least, are bad people. And one of them was Kang the Conqueror, it seems like. And he's like the main villain of the next Ant-Man movie, and presumably going to be like a big time villain going forward in the MCU. So I think there's so many things falling in line to show that the Timekeepers, at least at minimum, possibly the TVA as a whole, are not people we should support. But we'll find out more on next episode of Loki. I enjoyed this episode. It was a good episode. I enjoyed the dynamic between the two characters. I still don't know how I feel about Sylvie. I can't tell if I have decided if she's a Loki or not, because there's the like theory that she could be Enchantress or Loki or whoever, because the name Sylvie was the character Enchantress in the comics, who was also though created by Loki. So I don't know. Who knows? Maybe from this person's reality they are Enchantress, who is created by Loki, and then that's why she doesn't want to be called Loki, because she hates Loki or something for creating her, and she's just kind of using the moniker, you know, or like the imagery of Loki to pass off as Loki. I don't know. I guess we'll hopefully find out within the next few episodes, you know, what her true identity is and what her true motives are. Yeah, but there's only 3 episodes left, so I assume we have to find out eventually. Yeah, I don't know. What did you guys think of this episode? Let me know down in the comments below. Don't comment weird stuff if you're my sister. But if you're a normal person, comment. What do you think's gonna happen? How do you feel about the two Lokis? How are you processing that dynamic? How do you feel about the TVA? Like, given this new information, what do you think's going on? Yeah, I don't know. All your thoughts, just type them away. Comment. Yeah. That's all I got. Those are all my thoughts. If you liked what you saw, please leave a like on the video. That means a lot to me. Helps my videos get seen more. You know, helps feed that YouTube algorithm. A comment, subscribe, and ring the bell so you're notified when I upload. And then if you want to support me outside of YouTube, or if full-length reactions are something that interests you, consider checking out my Patreon. It's linked in the description. There you can become a super supporter and get featured in all my videos, like My man's right here. He's dope. I've never actually talked to him, but I assume he's dope because he's nice to me. But you can get featured like him by becoming a super supporter. But that's all I got. Thank you for watching. I love you deeply, each and you individually that's watching, that's still here at this point. I love you. Please marry me. Just kidding. Peace.